In this video, we're going to talk about absolute versus relative pathing. It's important to understand how this stuff works if you want to import files based on either an absolute path or a relative path. So let's just explain what an absolute path is and a relative path is. An absolute path is a path that starts from the root, probably like your drive letter. So let's say C drive, all the way up to where that file is. So an absolute path is the actual physical path name from the root. Relative path is a path relative to my current position. Okay, so where does the file lie relative to where I am at? So in the web, we can't access all the way from the C drive. So the root folder for us is the application root. So that would be this guy here, or pretty much where your index.html file sits. So when I want to work with absolute paths, I start it with a / to say, start it from the root for me, and then I'll define the path for you. So let's import something here on the source called my class, and I'm going to use absolute pathing for it. So I'll say import my class for me, and we're going to say / source / my class.js. Right, so that's the absolute path. I'm taking it from the root, which is over here. Then on the root is a folder called source, and in that folder called source is my class, which I'm trying to import. Now most of the time you rather just work with relative paths, because most of the files that you're accessing is relative to your custom directory. So here as an example, I have a data.js which is in the same folder as my welcome.js. So I don't want to use an absolute path to try and get to there. It's far too long a path to use. Who knows how many n levels deep this folder is, and I'm already there. So all I want to do is, relative to the folder that I'm in, get me the file based on that position. So relative pathing says as I put a dot and then a / in that, and that gives me this folder that I'm in. Now I can access the file I want, and as you can see, since data.js is in the same folder as welcome, I can just use that, no problem. Alright, but what if I want to import my class from here, and I don't want to use absolute path, I want to use relative path, because it's maybe just one folder up or 2 folders up. I don't necessarily want to go the whole absolute route. I just want to go and get it relative to this path here. So when we initially imported this, we said import my class, and then the IDE sort of did that on our behalf. So this is a variation of relative paths where I didn't put the dot /, but we can add that here just to make it clear. What we're saying here with dot / is that dot / says go back one folder. So I am in the welcome folder, go back one folder, which takes me to the app folder, go back one folder, which takes me to the root folder, which has a source directory in it that has my class in it. So dot / says I'm working with a relative pathing. Dot / means go back one folder. So I'm in my current folder, I'm going back 2 folders, which then has a root folder that has the file that I'm in. If I want to use the absolute path, just use a /, then the folder you're interested in, and then the file that you're interested in.